Okay, so in this video we are going to build the the GUI. It's a very basic, simple GUI which will show the user interaction with the display. So this is our old BDD. Let me open the BDD that we have just created. What I can also do is to bring in my activity diagram, which is under ATM block, and display it right next to. Let me just, so you can see both on the same page. This is just an image. Block definition diagram with the blocks, the ones that we are using in this example. We don't have the constraint blocks. They are still there, but we have suppressed. If you don't even like to see them here, we can also suppress it by pressing that. We can also make these. So now we have more space. So now what we have to do is to bring, create this GUI over here. And how do we do that? We can either use the same, remember we had this sim configuration. We can create another sim configuration, and we can use that sim configuration with the new interface. Or we can keep the same configuration and simply change the user interface. So we'll build a new interface. We'll replace the old with the new interface, and we'll use the same. So this is I would say a quick construction. If you like, you can create as many simulation configurations as many as you like, and all of those would represent different scenarios that you may be interested in running while building a design or demonstrating it to someone. So let me now create a new diagram, and this time this is the user interface diagram. So we need to find it first. So I clicked on the expert button at the bottom, and that's how it showed up. And this is a quick, we have to select the frame. Here is the frame. Don't forget that this frame should be assigned to a block. So ATM dragged and dropped it. Don't type anything on it. It's the it's the association that we have to create between. So that now this ATM block owns this interface. So when we are running this graphical user interface, it knows what block it has to simulate, process. It has access to the value properties of that block and its components. So now you have two panels that we would require, one for the user ID, and the other panel which will have access to the display part. So I'm just without resizing or doing any of those things. You can add some meaningful labels. You can add one at the top that may say welcome to system 230 ATM. Small text, we can resize it. So I'll just do it for one, and then you can do it if you want with all the others. So symbol properties, you can change the font, make it bold, make it larger. Let me just make it big, and also change the color if that's what you want. So let me just make it the GMU green. If I can find it, here it is. So, label up there. Next, we are going to bring a label that says pin. It's just a label. And then we will have a text field where we will like to display the user ID. These are just things that we are adding, but these panels also need to be assigned to the part property. So we'll open the ATM. So this is where our display value property will be displayed. So we are going to search the part property of ATM and drag and drop it. So now the display part is assigned to this panel, and this panel now has access to all the features of that. Similarly, we have the user part, which we are going to assign to this one. So now we have these panels knowing where to look for information if there are things which it's looking for. The next thing is we have text field over here. We don't want the scroll bar or any of those things. So the properties, make it 20, close. So this is where the display message or the message value property of the display should be shown. So we need to go find the display block, and that's where we have the display message, assign it to this text field. Similarly, this is the user ID. We need to find the user block and take the user ID value property and assign it to that. That's it. That's all we need. We now have our user interface created with all the proper associations established. All we have to do is to simply, first of all, where is that? It's the new ATM over here. So let's just give it a name. So that's our, let's just call it ATM display. And we would know that this is the, we'll also call it ATM display here. Now we'll go back to our sim config, which is already there. You can create a new one, and we are going to now take this and assign this over here. So now it says there are two user interfaces. So when you execute this sim UI, it's going to open the previous window and this window as well. We don't want that. We would like to suppress the previous one. So what you can do is you can just double click and find the user interfaces up here. Here they are. Just remove one of them. So this is the minus sign, and I have replaced it, removed the previous one. So now it has only one interface, which is the one we have just created. Now I can run the same sim UI, and here it is. With the messages, I can change the 001. The only thing this interface is missing is some way of saying OK. So let's add that, and then we'll come back to it and rerun it. So let me stop the simulations, go back to in here, and adding that OK is very simple. Find the signal OK, just drag and drop, make sure that you drop it in this region which belongs to the ATM, and say create button from signal, and here it is. So now we can click this, and it will post that signal for the simulation engine and will be taken by the activity diagram, the accept event action node. So now we can save everything and then execute it. Okay, we can have our overall BDD in the background. Run the sim UI up here. So here we have, so it's waiting for the OK. Before we click OK, let's just assign some pin number. Click OK. See, it's running, and it's also showing the messages, and it goes back to the initial value. Let's try a wrong pin. Also slow it down a little bit. Again, OK. And you may also see the values on the tokens. N003 is traveling. The false valid value. It displays invalid pin, goes back, and again waits for the OK. So now you can change. You may have a more meaningful message over here that says try one more time, and the user may correct the pin and then run it again. So now you see N001, which is a valid pin. And it took 2 seconds. And it comes back and again says enter the pin. Okay, so again, if you are adding more details, you may perhaps have another message displayed over here that says enter the amount that you wish to withdraw, and then depending upon what the the processing details are, you can process that request as well. So let me just stop it, and that's about it. That's all you have to do.